Hello, and welcome back to another Elevated Marketing podcast, where we break down complicated digital marketing topics to help your business grow. Today's topic is we are going to talk about how to get an instant result of ROI in your marketing.
Woohoo!
I mean, that's totally achievable.
Oh, for sure. It's very realistic.
I mean, like probably tomorrow you're going to see 2 times your return if you
Yeah.
start marketing.
Yeah,
It's going to happen.
it is. It's an overnight thing.
All right. If you know us, you might get that one. Okay. So, speaking of half truths, if you were running a campaign slogan and you were running for office, what would be your campaign slogan?
Brandon Jackson, where the BS is left at the door.
And Jennifer Denny, I get shit done.
Love that.
Oh boy, that's nice. All right, so let's talk about an important topic. Let's talk about producing ROI in marketing and maybe just wrap it into why instant ROI is sometimes with some people a goal. And I can speak directly, coming from the C-suite and knowing that, when you're spending money, all you're thinking about is probably your, profit and loss statement. And you're just like, I need everything to, produce a return, or why am I spending money on it? And so it's a direct line to driving revenue. Marketing is a direct line to driving revenue. It is. It absolutely is. But it is not a do a little bit of marketing and then you instantly have some sort of results. It's an ongoing strategic investment in your business. And so, depending on where you're at in marketing your business, you might be brand new, or you might be a well established business that just needs tweaks in your marketing. Getting that instantaneous results can somewhat depend on like where are you at in the business. When you're brand new and nobody knows who you are and expecting an instant result of ROI in your marketing, you're going to be disappointed because you're just getting started. But if you've been in business for a while, sometimes, a new fresh look on your marketing, there might be something that's a real low hanging fruit that you're going to see an ROI even quicker. But it can really lead to misinformed decisions, wasted budgets, and unmet expectations.
For sure. It's not a Band-Aid or a quick fix to help you out on, like your profit and loss statement as you had touched on. And yeah, it's long-term for sure.
Yeah, it's marketing is just ongoing. And it's something as a business you will always need to spend money on. And so, maybe you're not doing the right marketing activities. Maybe you've been doing a certain marketing activity for 3 months and you're not getting any results. Now, that deserves a change. But if you haven't been going at it for at least 3 months, and I'm not talking about 3 months like I just started my business. I'm talking about 3 months on a specific strategy. Then you can change it. So, what are some other reasons that, it exists? Like, why does this fallacy, do you feel, from your perspective, exist?
Yeah, there's definitely maybe those expectations that just simply are not realistic, but also an amount of pressure that's being felt. And so maybe that's pressure from a higher up, or pressure just simply because you have all this money going out and not any money coming in. And so, I mean, yeah, I think it does come to the unrealistic expectations, though, as well, not maybe
Yeah.
fully understanding what all goes into it.
So I'll say this one from a level of confidence that I was in sales and managed sales reps for at least a decade. And I think some of this comes from, I'm not blaming sales per se, but I'm blaming marketing agencies. I'm blaming certain sales individuals that contribute to this misconception because they're looking to close a deal or sell a service, and so they overpromise these quick results because they know that's what somebody wants to hear. And once they hear that, like, yes, we can get you results in this time frame with this, and we can promise this amount, you should run as a business because they're just telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I get frustrated by that because I managed my fair share of sales reps that would say anything to get a sale.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a buyer beware.
Yeah. Well, and it's just predatory in a way, because a lot of times there are, maybe business owners or other people in a business who don't understand the complexity of marketing. And so they don't understand,
Yeah.
you know, how marketing works and what needs to go into in order for something to work.
Well, and marketing has gotten more complex
Absolutely.
because we have several different ways that we could influence a buyer. And there's so many different channels and so many different types of marketing. Knowing which one to invest with takes somebody that's been in the game for a while, somebody that's a seasoned marketer. And it also takes time to develop a brand and for people to know who you are. You don't just launch an ad and be like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
want to buy that right now. Think about your own like buying.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time, Brenna, that you saw something and you bought right then and there and it was the first time you saw it?
It's really difficult to clickbait me. I honestly can't come up with a time that I've bought something the first time I saw it.
The only thing I can think of is a piece of clothing.
And it's a need, and a lot of times, it's not, I mean,
Yeah,
yes, we
like I
want
saw something
clothing,
cute.
but yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But most purchases go through what? A customer journey, a
Yeah.
conversion
Funnel.
funnel. Yeah, and that's why you don't see that instantaneous result, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
You need that like well-constructed marketing strategy that kind of brings somebody through. I just learned who you are. I want to learn more about you. I want to know why you're better than everybody else. And I want to know the value that you bring, like through
Yeah.
that whole journey.
And through all of that, it requires patience. A lot of times we always say we're data driven, we've got creativity and we love data,
Yeah.
but those data driven decisions do require patience. And so you have to be willing to test and go through the trials and errors of marketing in order to provide a better outcome with your
Right.
efforts.
Nobody's going to get it right the first time.
No,
It,
not at
it's
all.
it's not going to be right out of the gate. And so if you don't have that patience, and I would say sometimes the patience is because of a lack of poor planning, possibly, that you're not able to be more patient, then you're going to make decisions that are going to affect you long term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, other things to think about is sometimes some marketing is a long term strategy versus a shorter term strategy.
Mhm.
SEO, you
Yep.
are not going to prove to Google that you should be the number one ranking website tomorrow.
No. Wish we could.
Yes, but running ads, could you get information about how people perceive your brand on your website quicker? Yeah,
Yep.
but it still will take some data and patience to make the right decision.
Mhm. It definitely does. A lot more goes into just clicking the on button and we're live. Even then it's the heavy work that happens before those ads are ready to even launch.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that all takes time too. And, if you don't consider all this, then you're going to have a lot of frustration. You're going to have a lot of burnout and you're going to lose that creative edge that you need in order to be successful. Because let's face it, people are seeing things, a lot of things, and our attention span is all over the place. And if you're burnt out, then you won't have clear thinking.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure, and I like what you said with attention spans too, like, I've said that for a while now. Our attention spans are so much different than even a year ago.
Oh, yeah, like we're being hit with information all the time. And if you've got this like expectation that somebody's going to see your brand for the first time and then just buy, let me tell you the stats. It's about 2%.
Mhm.
So what are you doing to market the other 98%? It's
Yeah.
not that they're not willing to buy, but they just got to know who you are. Like, give them a minute.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that people can, maybe shift their mindset away from just expecting those instant ROIs?
Yeah, I think setting those realistic and long-term goals.
Yeah,
You had touched earlier that sometimes in marketing there are those short-term goals, but
yeah.
ultimately it's all leading to your bigger goal. And so I think just, you know, maybe taking time to understand, you don't even have to fully understand the entirety of marketing and the complexity that comes with it, but understanding that it does take time, then you can maybe define some of those realistic goals.
And I would say you have to take that from the perspective of where are you at in business. If you're brand new, there's one way to look at instant ROI versus if you've been around for a while, there's another way to look at instant ROI. And my answer to those would be different based on that people already know you and I just need them to understand what your value is, or nobody even knows who you are. That's where you really got to put some legwork in,
Mhm.
and think holistically about how to drive people to understand who you are, like content, social media, paid advertising, data analysis, SEO, like all of that contributes, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Mhm. For sure.
The other thing is I would not just focus on the end goal. I think we do this in life. And if you think about when people set goals, a lot of times they won't take the first step because all they're thinking about is that very end goal and how hard it is. And I want people to look at that from their own marketing. And there are different tiny steps that you can do in your marketing within different marketing channels that will showcase you that you're on the right path. And you need to look at those metrics, not just did I get more leads? Look at the little small goals, and before you know it, you'll hit the big goal.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite saying? It's not the one beer that got you drunk, but it's all the beers. That's how I think about all of these metrics. They all kind of build on top of each other. And and help you get to, maybe a bigger goal.
Well, if you're constantly pounding your team about, nothing but results, just remember that they're going to become unmotivated and they're not going to want to follow you. But if you take a different approach and be like, you know what, that was great. You did a great job there. You got this, and that right. Now let's work on this, and that. Like, which environment do you think you're going to get more results out of as a leader? I think I know the answer.
For sure.
All right. Well, any other last minute thoughts on this topic on instant ROI results?
Patience is a virtue.
That is a good one, that's for sure. So, all right. Well, that wraps it up for now on this episode of Elevated Marketing Dad Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please rate and review wherever you are listening, and certainly hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to join our newsletter, you can certainly head over to our website at elevatedmarketing.solutions, or you can head over to my LinkedIn profile, Jennifer Denny, and we have a newsletter on there as well. All right, take care.